Hi there, my name is Nicole Lareau. I'm from Clarksville, Tennessee. I'm a Titan athlete, and I am also an IFBB Women's Physique Pro. I have only been bodybuilding for a year, technically, but I've been in the gym for 10 years. I was a super high achiever in high school. I really just focused on school. I wasn't into partying or anything like that. And when I was younger, I was very active and I did pretty much the full spectrum of sports. And after my freshman year of college, I just wasn't thrilled with what I was doing, how I was treating my body. And I had some medical issues and I just wanted to be more and to change and to be better. So that's what initially got me in the gym. And then for bodybuilding specifically, I was going through, I'm a competitor. I was a powerlifter before and I wanted to compete. And I was having some mental health issues and I really needed something external to focus on. I saw all these figure girls. That was my thing. And even when I started bodybuilding, I thought I was going to do figure. Obviously, I went with women's physique and that's, where I went pro and what I'll be doing in the future. But that was the initial plan back when I was 19 years old. That's what I wanted to do. But I didn't have the discipline or the knowledge. I didn't even really know that coaches like that were a thing, and I wouldn't have been able to afford it financially. I wasn't in a good position at that time. I was young. And it wasn't the time. It wasn't going to work. And then after that, I did the CrossFit thing, the powerlifting thing. And by the time I got to the point that I did hire a coach and decide, hey, I'm actually going to do this now, I hadn't competed in over a year. I had to pull out of my last powerlifting meet prep, had some personal issues. And I also, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, and powerlifting was very hard on my joints. And I was just sort of floating, jellyfishing, that's what I like to call it. And I needed something. I wanted to be in control. I wanted something to focus on. Biggest achievement, pro card in 2 shows. Started bodybuilding in February of 2022, and by December, I was a pro. It's still unbelievable, and I'm still getting used to it, but by far my biggest accomplishment in life, to be honest, not just in my fitness life. My biggest challenges kind of all revolve around me. I am my biggest challenge. I would say that my coach would probably give the same answer. I'm the biggest challenge. I'm a perfectionist, very hard on myself, and sometimes that can make it difficult. My biggest fear is being content, because I always want more, and I want to be more and do more, and for that reason I sometimes struggle to acknowledge what I've already done and the good things and the progress. My biggest piece of advice for someone starting out on their fitness journey is eyes on your own paper. Put blinders on. Comparison is a thief of joy. That is so true. Your journey is your own. I see so often people start doing something and it'll be working for them even, but then they'll see, their favorite influencer on Instagram doing something else, and they're like, oh, I'll try that because she looks like that, so I want to look like that, even though what they were already doing was working for them. Don't focus on anybody else. Don't pay attention to anybody else. Find what works for you and stick to it. Stick to your guns. As I've gotten older and taken fitness more seriously, and it's just become a bigger part of my life, I've started focusing more on what I put in my body, especially as you get older. When you're younger, you can kind of do whatever, not sleep and eat whatever, and most of the time probably still be pretty strong. I wouldn't suggest that. Definitely don't do that, because what you put into your body is paramount, and it is so important, and it's the best, the best recovery tool, for example, is sleep and food. Things like that. People always want a magic pill. That's not necessarily what it is, but there are gaps in nutrition. There are gaps in recovery. And for me, that's where supplements come in. And if I'm going to use something, if I'm going to pay for something, if I'm going to put it into my body, if it's going to be part of my protocols, I'm going to make sure that it is the best ingredients available, that it's doing what it says that it's going to do, and that it's beneficial to my body. That being said, that's why I work with Titan. In all seriousness, Titan cares. The amount of effort and time and just dedication that goes into making sure that these products that they're pushing out are the best for their consumers, the amount of time that goes into making sure that the ingredients are the best available and all the amounts are actually in the products. It's seriously, I trust Titan. I believe in them. I love the company. The people, everybody is so great and they genuinely care. And all the little things too, their products taste good and the powders mix well, things like that, which honestly, if the ingredients were great and it didn't mix that great, I would be okay with it. But Titan's the best of both worlds, which is awesome. Restore is what made me fall in love with Titan in the first place. I can't sleep without that. Absolutely, that has been such a great tool for my recovery. I go feed and EAAs during all my workouts. It's definitely gotten me through many a leg day, especially depending on what time I take my Restore at night. That'll determine how many hours of sleep I get, because once I take it, I'm good, but sometimes I take it kind of late depending on what I got going on that day. So that will then determine what I take pre-workout, whether it be Activate, which has less caffeine, or Kick In, which has more caffeine. But I'm always taking one of those two. My citrus greens every single morning, which I genuinely enjoy, which I never thought I would say that about any greens product, but Titan did a phenomenal job with the new citrus greens. Absolutely amazing. I'm also taking Lipo N3 and multivitamin, and I've started using actually some collagen, and very first stages, I've never taken it before, so I just started taking it, and I'm going to see how that works for me, but I've decided to try some Titan collagen as well. Every human that you come across has been through something, and it has changed them, whether for the worse or for better, but just be kind. You have no idea what someone is going through. That being said, also, because we all have had things happen to us, I am of the belief that it doesn't necessarily matter what you've been through, although of course, I sympathize and empathize. It matters how you respond to it, how you grow from it. Like I said, when I first started, and yes, this is life advice, but it goes into fitness as well. When I first started bodybuilding, I was in a very dark place, but I didn't let it beat me. I channeled it into something productive. I picked a goal and just worked towards it. If you had told me when I first started bodybuilding that the most at home I have ever felt in any aspect of my life ever would be on stage in a little bikini, barefoot, in front of strangers, posing, dancing around, I wouldn't have believed you even in the slightest. So thankfully it worked out for me.